In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, Vietnam's economy exceeds growth expectations in the first half of 2024. Later on, Vietnam's budget transparency rankings increase 11 places. And in our world news, a new UK Prime Minister appoints fresh cabinet.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Lin Lei with the latest updates. Now on Saturday morning in Cha Vinh City, State President Tô Lâm offered incense to commemorate President Ho Chi Minh at the Ho Chi Minh Temple historical site in Long Duc Commune. After the passing of President Ho Chi Minh, the Cha Vinh Party Committee, along with the Army and people of Long Duc, built a temple dedicated to the late president, located only a few hundred meters from the enemy's post. After the temple was completed in early 1971, the revolutionary spirit in the region was heightened. In the temple's memorial handbook, State President Tô Lâm affirmed the sacred loyalty and steeled hearts of the southern people, particularly the people of Cha Vinh, towards the leader of the nation. The temple is considered a symbol of the great solidarity of the Vietnamese army and people. Also on Saturday morning, in Cao Lãnh City, Đồng Tháp Province, the state president also offered incense and flowers at the temple of Nguyễn Sinh Sắc, a patriotic Confucian scholar and the father of President Ho Chi Minh. On Saturday morning, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired the regular government meeting for June, as well as the meeting with localities to review the socio-economic situation in the first half of the year. Most deputies agreed that in the first 6 months, Vietnam's economy recorded positive results, with most indexes achieving a higher growth rate than the same period last year. On behalf of the government, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính praised the efforts of authorities at all levels and their contributions to these achievements. However, he also pointed out some limitations and emphasized the importance of accomplishing upcoming goals, such as reaching 6.5 to 7% growth in the third quarter and maintaining inflation at 4 to 4.5%. The Prime Minister also requested the continued implementation of the expansionary fiscal policy, the reduction of lending interest rates and borrowing costs, the exemption of several taxes, fees and charges, and price management. He also asked that shortages of electricity, gasoline, and food be prevented. The Prime Minister requested ministries, branches, and localities to be more proactive in removing difficulties and obstacles for businesses and people. According to the results of the 2023 Open Budget Survey released recently by the International Budget Partnership, Vietnam ranks 57th out of the 125 surveyed countries in terms of budget transparency, up 11 places compared to 2021 and 20 places compared to 2019. The Ministry of Finance noted the 3 categories where Vietnam has the most impressive results: the citizen budget reaching 100 points, the National Assembly's enacted budget reaching 83 points, and the in-year reports standing at 78 points. In the first half of this year, the total capital registered by foreign investors in Vietnam reached nearly $15.2 billion, up 13.1% over the same period last year. The realized capital of foreign investment projects in the past 6 months is estimated at $10.84 billion, marking an 8.2% year-on-year growth. That is the highest level in the first 6 months of the year in the past 5 years, demonstrating the stronger confidence of foreign investors in Vietnam.
This South Korean business specializes in manufacturing and exporting smartphone cameras. Since the beginning of this year, the company has concentrated all its resources on establishing a production line in Vietnam dedicated to global exports.
We notice that Vietnam has the most suitable investment environment. The government always puts forward policies to improve the investment and business environment. The Vietnamese workforce is dynamic and skilled.
Since the beginning of the year, South Korean enterprises have escalated their foreign investments in Vietnam. South Korea leads among countries in terms of the frequency with which it has adjusted its investment capital upwards in Vietnam.
The Prime Minister has also often emphasized and affirmed support and assistance to resolve the difficulties of our country's investors in Vietnam. Many of our Korean investors will expand their investment in Vietnam in the near future.
South Korea, Singapore, Japan, and China have invested the most in Vietnam since the beginning of the year. These traditional Asian partners of Vietnam have concentrated their resources on implementing large projects in semiconductors, energy, and electronic products.
In the north, we see new factory construction has been progressed in Quang Ninh or Bac Ninh and other provinces, which is accelerating companies, particularly manufacturing.
In the first half of this year, exports by foreign invested enterprises in Vietnam continued to accelerate compared to the same period last year. These enterprises had a trade surplus of nearly $23 billion, offsetting the trade deficit of more than $13 billion of domestic enterprises.
On Saturday afternoon in Hanoi, the Ministry of Industry and Trade held a conference to implement Decree number 80 of the government on the direct sale and purchase mechanism of renewable energy for big consumers. The electricity trading will be carried out in two forms: through the national grid, or buyers can directly establish their own connecting lines to renewable energy plants. Although these energy projects are not limited in capacity, they must have an electricity operating license or be exempt from the license according to regulations. A survey by the Ministry of Industry and Trade conducted at the end of last year showed that about 20 large enterprises wanted to buy electricity directly, with a total demand of nearly 1,000 megawatts. And large customers account for 40% of total electricity consumption nationwide. Allowing them to buy and sell renewable electricity directly also helps reduce the pressure on the national grid. To promote and increase the consumption of locally produced products, agencies, units, and localities have collaborated to establish points for introducing and selling OCOP, one commune, one product items. Many businesses and business households have proactively invested in and opened stores to showcase and sell OCOP products, meeting customers' demand and contributing to the promotion and consumption of these products.
To build and develop OCOP products from Nissan garlic and increase consumers' accessibility to them, this enterprise has pioneered the method of growing garlic using clean, chemical-free agricultural production processes on Nissan Island. Nissan garlic products have made their way into major markets such as Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City.
In 2024, our output has tripled. The Nissan chili garlic dipping sauce has already gained traction in the South Korean market, showcasing the reach of Nissan Vietnam garlic.
Currently, Quảng Ngãi has 191 OCOP products, including 17 4-star and 174 3-star products. A total of 121 entities produce these OCOP products, comprising 19 enterprises, 34 cooperatives, and 68 production and business establishments and households.
Trade and market promotion are the responsibility of multiple agencies and units. It is essential to encourage local participation and state intervention, to provide financial support, transportation assistance, and information channels to facilitate access for the community.
Implementing the OCOP program, localities have tasked departments and branches with reviewing and evaluating the potential value and consumption of existing OCOP products. The focus is on supporting investors in modernizing production equipment and establishing and issuing codes for growing and farming areas to improve product quality and value. This effort aims to elevate OCOP products to 4-star provincial and 5-star central levels, ensuring strong market consumption.
Hanoi represents nearly 60% of the country's total craft villages, with over 1,300 craft villages. However, many operate as small businesses with outdated technology and struggle to stay relevant due to a lack of young, skilled workers. The People's Committee of Hanoi addressed these issues on a Friday at a conference on boosting production and business for village cooperatives.
Phu Vinh Village has maintained its mastery of bamboo and rattan production for centuries. It generates close to $733,000 of monthly revenue. However, it has failed to keep up with the numbers in recent years due to a labor shortage, particularly that of young, skilled workers.
We have experienced extended periods without orders, so the younger workers have resorted to other jobs for a living. An ill-trained and temporary group of craftspeople cannot replicate what used to be high quality, so we risk losing customers.
Many others can relate to Phu Vinh Village. A shortage of young craftspeople can negatively affect a village's ability to adopt new technologies, modernize production processes, and enhance product promotion.
We belong to a generation that got used to outdated technology. We are struggling to keep up with villages that adopt new tech in their trade. We hope the city can provide us with technical support so we can improve our competitive edge.
At the conference, city authorities acknowledged that while craft villages collectively generate close to $1 billion annually, their operations remain small-scale and fragmented. To address these challenges, the revised capital law introduces specific mechanisms aimed at preserving and developing craft villages.
This law facilitates the transfer of technology to businesses without compensation, helping them refine production processes, improve product quality, and enhance competitiveness.
New policies will improve access to land, capital, and human resource training. The establishment of commercial and cultural development zones will attract investment, boost tourism, and promote trade, all while preserving traditional crafts.
Hanoi has employed strategies to integrate craft village preservation with tourism and commercial services. This is expected to create spaces that showcase products and attract both domestic and international talent.
Coming up next on VTV News. Revised capital law to attract top talent. And later on, Ha Giang's efforts to conserve snub-nosed monkeys. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now, the revised capital law passed by the National Assembly on June the 28th emphasizes attracting and appreciating talent and developing high-quality human resources. This policy will enable Hanoi to leverage top-tier human resources, fostering rapid and sustainable development for the capital.
Over the past 10 years, Hanoi has welcomed 55 exceptional valedictorians to work in various departments, branches, districts, towns, and public service units under the City People's Committee. With the capital law soon taking effect, new mechanisms will be introduced to attract and utilize talent more effectively.
The city will have the authority to determine the number of personnel employed. Heads of agencies and units will be contracted to perform professional tasks within administrative bodies.
To ensure a long-term talent pool, the capital law outlines specific measures to support and create conducive conditions for talented individuals to develop their abilities according to their strengths.
The policy on attracting talent in the capital law is clear and designed to create a strong appeal for capable and dedicated individuals to contribute to the development of the city.
The policy on attracting talent is now more concrete. I hope that in the future, the quality of the capital's resources, especially talented, skilled, and highly qualified individuals.
Hanoi boasts more than 100 universities and colleges, including many leading institutions. The city is home to approximately 65% of the country's professors, doctors, and scientists. With the capital law passed, specific mechanisms and policies present a significant opportunity for intellectuals and scientists to actively participate in and contribute to the city's robust development in the future.
Vietnam produces approximately 3.2 million tons of plastic waste annually, including 30 billion plastic bags. Alarmingly, more than 80% of these bags are single-use, with only 9 to 12% being recycled. Efforts are underway to encourage green consumption and reduce plastic use to tackle this challenge. Consumers are urged to avoid plastic bags and non-degradable plastic items.
During the International Plastic Bag Free Day, held on July 3rd, a nationwide alliance of supermarkets and stores launched the Say No to Plastic Bags campaign with the theme, Less Plastic Bags, More Life. This initiative promotes the use of environmentally friendly bags to reduce non-degradable plastic waste.
These cloth bags are practical, can be reused multiple times, and help protect the environment.
Stores are also encouraging green consumption by offering product returns and exchanges to reuse packaging and by providing eco-friendly bags.
A discarded box of milk is non-degradable trash, which is harmful to the environment. Thanks to this campaign, I learned that recycling plastics is good for the environment, so I'm willing to join.
With hundreds of food suppliers for each major supermarket, the amount of plastic packaging used is substantial. According to World Bank research, plastic bags are the most discarded single-use plastic product.
Businesses should be taking the lead in fostering eco-friendly habits among consumers. For instance, we are rolling out plans to collect milk cartons for recycling in 2024.
Other green plans include replacing single-use plastic bowls in the ready-to-eat food section with bowls made from sugarcane bagasse. These initiatives reflect a broader commitment to reducing plastic waste and promoting a greener lifestyle in Vietnam.
DK1 platforms, in addition to their value in collecting marine data, are considered landmarks that testify to Vietnam's sovereignty over the continental shelf and its oil and gas. Vietnam's military outposts, constructed in the East Sea, were internationally recognized as extraordinary defense infrastructure, a well-deserved achievement by the Vietnamese people and soldiers. For decades, many generations have crewed and maintained the platforms, contributing to defending the country's sea and island sovereignty.
DK-114 platform is located on Tu Ching Shoal. Although the platform can be seen from several nautical miles in good weather conditions, it's not easy to get there. Vietnamese naval personnel stay committed to fulfilling the duties despite unfavorable living conditions.
Naval personnel face many difficulties living in the middle of the ocean. However, they have developed strong willpower and determination to protect the fatherland.
Despite hardships, the naval crews devise many leisure activities to overcome homesickness and their daily difficulties. This is the first time Thuần and Dat have been assigned to perform DK-114 platform duties.
I often play chess, kick shuttlecock, or do push-ups exercise in my leisure time.
Thanks to everyone's care and support, this place is my second home.
Mai Thanh Tuan has been stationed at different platforms for 15 years. With his deep love for the sea and strong sense of patriotism, he's proud to serve in a special military unit during his military service.
I am deeply honored and very proud to perform my duties here. I hope to contribute to safeguarding the sacred fatherland.
The first DK1 platform was constructed in the Phuc Tân cluster in July 1989. Since then, 15 DK1 platforms have been built in other clusters, including Ba Kè, Huyền Trân, Huế Đường, Tui Chính, Phúc Nguyên, and Cà Mau Shoals. Together, they form a steel belt, serving as a stronghold to safeguard the sovereignty of the nation's southern continental shelf.
The program to introduce Vietnamese tourism in St. Petersburg within the framework of the Vietnamese Cultural Days in the Russian Federation took place Friday night. Hundreds of delegates from the Tourism Management Agency and businesses of the Russian Federation attended the event. The program featured updates on policies, the development of Vietnam's tourism, and attractive tourism products that cater to the tastes of Russian tourists. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, Vietnam was the travel destination for 650,000 Russian visitors annually. Russian businesses have expressed their desire to resume direct flights between the two countries soon as a key solution to promote tourism. Within the cooperation framework for 2024 to 2025, the Conservation Impact Organization and the Forest Protection Department of Ha Giang Province have launched a forest awareness program for summer 2024, targeting primary school students. This program is implemented in communes around the Khao Ca Tonkin snub-nosed monkey species and habitat conservation area within the Du Gia National Park, Đông Vân Karst Plateau area.
The program is designed with content and activities suitable for students and teachers in several primary schools in Yên Minh, Bắc Mê, and Vị Xuyên districts. It includes illustrative activities and games with the aim of changing their behavior to protect the forest and snub-nosed monkeys.
Our approach involves conducting the program annually in order to enable many students to participate in these programs continuously, with information gradually added each year to reinforce their learning and awareness. The snub-nosed monkey is a rare animal. Animals should not be hunted and more trees should be planted.
The Provincial Forest Protection Department and International Wildlife Conservation Organization have conducted extensive biodiversity research and monitoring activities. They have installed 40 additional audio recorders and 25 camera traps to gather data on snub-nosed monkeys.
We have established regulations to coordinate with the Department of Education and Training to include contents related to forest management and protection, as well as forest fire prevention and fighting in several school subjects. Schools are actively incorporating these topics into tests and lectures to enhance students' understanding.
Ha Giang Province have developed a conservation plan for snub-nosed monkeys for the period of 2021 to 2030. This plan is aimed at preserving the living environment for plants and animals, thereby contributing to the reduction of encroachment on natural forest areas.
Coming up next in our world news, new UK Prime Minister appoints fresh cabinet. And later on, Turkey eyes revamped grain deal. Now moving on to our world news, new UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer appointed a new cabinet in a Labour government after an audience with the King at Buckingham Palace. The 27-member cabinet includes an unprecedented 11 women. The Labour Party's deputy leader, Angela Rayner, has been appointed as Britain's deputy prime minister. Rachel Reeves has been appointed Treasury Chief, the first woman to hold the job. Addressing the nation from outside 10 Downing Street for the first time, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer stated that British citizens have voted decisively for change, for national renewal, and for the return of politics to public service. He pledged to deliver on these commitments with action.
Should not be underestimated by anyone. We pay tribute.
Turkey is determined to resume the Black Sea grain deal with a new approach that will see the grain corridor running through Turkish territory and bring agricultural supplies to food-insecure African countries. Turkish leader Tayyip Erdogan discussed the idea with Russian President Vladimir Putin and stated that the Russian president responded positively to the proposition. Turkey and Russia will resume negotiations to put the Black Sea grain deal back to work. The grain deal was signed in Istanbul on July 22, 2022, and expired on July 17, 2023. With the yen falling to a 34-year lows, many Japanese are planning to tighten their purse strings on their trips overseas. According to JTB, Japan's largest travel agency, the number of travelers going abroad during the summer break is expected to go up by 1%, making up only 60% of the pre-pandemic level. The JTB survey showed that short trips to neighboring Asian and Southeast Asian destinations were more popular due to low costs. In contrast, fewer chose all-time favorite destinations like Hawaii in the US or European countries. Estimates show that overseas travel costs have increased by 3% this year due to the declining yen, rising inflation, and costs. Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast for Vietnam and other locations in the world. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app, VTVgo, for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.